Aloha, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing kind of an honest review series in a way. I have been doing Unlimited Orange Theory for the last 2.5, almost 3 months. So I wanted to give you all my thoughts, show you my progress, just kind of what I think of the whole thing if I think it's worth it, explain to you how the classes work, and let you know my overall thoughts. Now, by the nature of this video, I am going to be talking about body image and changes I've seen in my body and even eating habits. So I know some of those topics can be triggering for some people. So I'm just gonna put that out at the beginning of the video. If those are topics you don't want to hear about, this video might not be for you. Otherwise, let's get into it. So I started Orange Theory Fitness in January. It is now mid-March, and I decided to go ahead and film this video now because it's actually March 18th, the day before my birthday, at the filming of this video. And as I'm sure you're aware, all the gyms, at least in my area, probably across the US by now, have been closed down due to the COVID-19 virus. And so I figured I'm gonna make this video while it's still fresh on my mind and while I'm still in the routine of things before I get too far off track from my daily routine. So for the last 2.5 months, I have been going pretty consistently 5 days a week. Some weeks, if I had auditions early in the morning pop up or whatever, I would do 4 days a week. I would never do less than that though. The only time that I did less was a week that I had the stomach flu. But other than that, I was very, very consistent in my workouts there. Let me start by saying I'm a person that really dislikes working out. If you don't know me, I actually ended up studying nutrition and got my degree in that. And I would say one big reason I was attracted to nutrition is I realized that I could live a relatively sustainable life by just eating healthy and not really having to work out. Working out is important as far as like cardiovascular health and mood and endorphins and sleep and all that. But just being able to stay fit, I realized that a lot of it comes from food. So because of that, I focus most of my attention on food and not really a lot on working out. I've just never liked doing it. I did realize though, if I want to get into the routine of working out, I'm the type of person where I have to have a lot at stake or else I just won't do it. So for me, it is a pretty big expense, but that expense is what gets me there. So I do the unlimited membership. It kind of varies between studio to studio, but for my membership, I pay $179 a month and I could go as many times as I want. One day I was crazy and even went 2 times in a day, so there's no rules. You can literally go as many times as you want. Otherwise, drop-in classes are around $30, and there's a ton of different packages where you could buy 8 classes in a month, though they don't roll over, or 4 classes in a month, or whatever you want to do. So I realized forking up that $179 a month is painful, but because of it, I will actually go and I will actually get it done. There is one interesting rule where you can book classes in advance, but if you cancel a class less than 12 hours before, for an unlimited membership, you're charged $12, and for other memberships, you lose that class credit. Me having a kind of last minute life, I have had to cancel things or move classes around, cancel my morning class, schedule an evening class, whatever. And because of that, there have been quite a few times where I have been charged the $12 fee, which is kind of a bummer. But on the reverse, if something isn't essential, it really forces me to actually go to that class. Like if I'm just kind of feeling like, I just don't want to work out today, if it's less than 12 hours before, I'm gonna go anyways, and I'm never mad that I went. I'm always glad I went because I feel so much better afterwards. Now about the actual workout, how it works, there's 2 class formats. There's basically a class format where you're in 3 groups and a class format where you're in 2 groups, but there's 3 stations in the room. There's a treadmill station, there's a rowing station, and then there's like the floor, which is weights. What are those called? TRX straps, benches, mats, that whole thing. Ab dollies, is that what that's called? There's just a lot of things over on the floor side. So a lot of the classes I take, because I like to go like 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning before work, so it's a pretty popular time. Most of those were in 3 groups, meaning there's 45 people in the class, 15, 15, 15. And you get to choose where you start. You get to choose if you want to start on the treadmill, on the rower, or on the floor. And throughout the workout, you'll spend, say, like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, usually a little bit less because you do warm up and a cool down as well. The coach will walk you through what you're going to be doing at each section. I honestly feel kind of bad for the coach. It seems like a very, very hectic job because they're not just watching one section, they're keeping their eye on all the sections, and they will be telling the sections to do different things at different times. So they'll explain like one block of exercises, like here's these 4 moves, repeat these 4 moves for 5 minutes on the floor. But then they'll come over to the tread and they'll say, okay guys, run for 1 minute. And they'll go over to the rower and they'll say row 100 meters and then do 10 squats, and then row 200 meters and then do 10 squats. And they'll go back to the tread and they'll say, okay guys, we're going to walk for 30 seconds, but then we're going to walk up a hill at a higher intensity for 1 minute. And so they're like balancing all of this. So one thing that could be difficult about the class is making sure to listen to the coach, because the coach is talking to 3 different groups at once. So sometimes it's easy to tune out the coach and then miss a piece of information for your section. So you do have to have good listening skills and good understanding if you want to do well at Orange Theory. My first couple of classes, I was like, I don't know what she said, but I'm just gonna hope I don't mess up, because there's new terminology as well with like rowing a certain number of meters or whatever. Learning those new machines can get kind of confusing, but you definitely catch on over time. As far as my critiques go, I'm a person that really hates cardio. So I normally like to start with the treadmill and get that out of the way. So that makes it more bearable for me, because then I'm like, okay, from here on out, it's floor stuff. I love lower body exercises and I love ab exercises. I personally am a person that have never really cared about my arms. I just don't carry any weight in my arms. Belly button up, I carry no weight. Belly button down, I do. So because of that, just by nature of having like a skinny upper body, I haven't ever felt the need to work out my arms. Because of that though, I do have really weak arms, and I do actually dislocate my shoulders quite frequently. So there are a lot of upper body weighted exercises in Orange Theory, and at first I didn't like that because I didn't really care about it. I wasn't good at it. I was like, let's focus on legs and abs because that's what I care about. But I have seen a big improvement in my upper body strength, and funny enough, I've actually visually seen much more of a change in the tone of my upper body than the rest of my body. I think because it is just the spot I don't carry weight, and it is a spot I've never worked out before. I was, when I was thinking through this video a couple weeks ago, going to say that I wish we did more abs. After I had that critique in my head, I actually started paying attention to the workouts a little bit more, and I realized it was more well balanced than I had initially felt. We actually started doing more abs coincidentally. I was like, I feel like they read my thoughts. But I know that there's a team of people in like the corporate side of Orange Theory that put a lot of thought into the workout. I guess I should mention too, Orange Theory corporate sends out the workouts to all the locations every single day. So every location across the US is doing the exact same workout, and 2 workouts are never, ever repeated. So Monday's workout's gonna be completely different from Tuesday's workout, and you're never gonna see Monday's workout again. You might see a couple of the same moves, like this kind of weird like squat jack you might see again in a couple weeks, but amongst completely different other exercises. So it's also kind of cool too, because it's not like, oh, Monday we do arms, Tuesday we do core, Wednesday we do legs. It's every single day is different. So if you're a person that only ever goes Monday, Wednesday, you don't have to worry about, oh, if I only ever go Monday, Wednesday, am I only gonna do arms and legs? I'm never gonna get to do core. Thankfully, it's always different, and even within a workout, even if a workout is more arms focused, they will still add in full body or some leg workouts within that workout. My biggest complaint that I would say is a little bit frustrating with Orange Theory is the fact that, at least at my studio, classes book up so quick. I book all my classes pretty much 2 weeks in advance for the more peak times, meaning basically before work. I can usually pick up like a noon or a 3 p.m. same day, but that's because I'm one of the people that work freelance. Most people have 9-to-5 jobs. I'm sure they just need to add a secondary studio in Pasadena where I live, because the demand seems pretty high, but it can be frustrating when sometimes the week of you can't get any of the class times that you want. But the solution to that is just always book super far in advance, and then if something pops up the day before where you can't actually go, as long as it's more than 12 hours in advance, you can cancel it, no problem. You're not penalized in any sort of way. And if you are, you can still cancel it, but you are penalized. One interesting thing, and this is the part where I want to talk about my body image and my eating habits with Orange Theory. I burn anywhere between 400 and 700 calories a class. I guess I didn't even mention how this works, and I should have earlier. How it works is you wear a heart rate band on your arm, which you can rent for $5 a class, or you could purchase for in the ballpark of $120. We purchased it. It obviously seems overpriced for what you're getting. And your statistics are actually cast onto a screen. So you can see all of your classmates' heart rates, calories burned, everything. So it's interesting because you're kind of held accountable in that way. But the whole premise of Orange Theory is there's different heart rate zones. There's the gray, meaning you're not moving, blue, which is like light movement, green, you're working out. Orange is kind of uncomfortable, and red they call all out. That's where you're like trying to catch your breath and it's really, really difficult. And the goal is you need to spend at least 12 minutes in the orange or red zone. 12 minutes gets you 12 splat points. A splat point equals a minute. And if you do get at least 12 minutes, then you will burn a certain percentage of the calories you burned in class during the next 24 hours. So they call that the afterburn, where you continue, your metabolism's revved up and you continue burning calories. And that's awesome. I've only had one class in my life where I didn't reach the 12 splat points and I just wasn't feeling very well that day, so I didn't try as hard. But I would say on average I get between like 18 to 22 splat points a class. Because of that, I leave class starving. And I definitely just like go all out as soon as I get home. I definitely think it's important to like take into account the number of calories you're burning and then increase your caloric intake adequately. I, on the other hand, though, kind of started just like mindless eating. A lot of the times too, I couldn't even wait for my breakfast to finish cooking. I would just grab a bag of chips and start eating that while I was waiting to cook my breakfast type of thing. That's on me for poor planning. I haven't actually weighed myself in a couple days, but last time I weighed myself, I started off Orange Theory at about 124, and the other day that I weighed myself, I was actually 129. I don't know if that's just that day I was holding more fluid, if I've gained muscle, if I have gained weight in general from being so hungry after my classes. But nevertheless, I have actually felt more body confident, though my weight has gone up. That might be because I've gained muscle. Who knows? I really don't know. I can't answer that for you. But I think that just doing something good for my body makes me feel better about my body. However, that I call my problem area, which I know might not be the most politically correct terminology, is my like thighs, hips, butt. That's where I carry all my weight. And that's the area I always focus on toning and leaning down. And I haven't seen any changes in that area for me. I have seen changes in my upper body, like I have mentioned, in my mood, which is huge. But in the area that I've always wanted to target, I haven't necessarily seen a positive change yet, which is fine. I would say the most beneficial thing I've gotten out of working out in the mornings really is my mood and my mental clarity. The mornings that I can't go work out, whether that be I just don't go on weekends, or if something does pop up and it's one of the rare weekdays I don't go, I have noticed that my whole productivity has declined and my mood has declined, and I just feel kind of like sluggish, and I wouldn't say sad, but definitely less happy. So those are my overall thoughts. I will cut to a video clip right now of me standing up. I'm wearing workout clothes to show you my current body, and I actually did also take before pictures as well, so we can kind of compare. I haven't really even compared my before pictures. I should peek at it. I'm gonna stand up and show you my current body. Though that's kind of vulnerable. Here is my body from afar. I will go ahead and put the before picture next to me. I don't know if I see any major changes. I know that I was wearing a swimsuit in that picture. It is freezing in here today and I'm actually so cold, even still in pants and a sports bra right now. So sorry. But as previously mentioned, I still don't have really any muscles, but surprisingly I do see a little bit of a difference in my upper body strength, particularly my back. I see quite a bit of muscle definition in my back and shoulders. And then I see a little bit of baby abs coming out, but I've kind of already had at least upper abs, not necessarily lower abs. So overall, the changes in my body aren't necessarily drastic, especially for the amount of time I've put into it, which is 2.5 months, but I do really enjoy it, and I'm sad obviously right now with everything going on and that gyms are closed, because I do miss that routine and I did genuinely feel so good working out every single day. So I'm gonna keep that up at home, though I know my workouts aren't going to be as tough without someone pushing me for a whole hour. If you have any other questions about my experience with Orange Theory, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below and I would be more than happy to answer them for you. I hope that you're all staying happy and healthy and safe, and I know this video is not coming out for 2 to 3 weeks, so I hope everything is better by then. And I love y'all so much. Hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.